Jackson County Today. Hot topics, relevant stories, and news developments that affect our community.
At a recent Medford Chamber Forum, Jackson County Administrator Danny Jordan continues his discussion on the county's financial outlook by taking a closer look at urban renewal districts and their effect on the local tax base.
There are a lot of tax programs that divert money from not just the county but other local governments. I've worked in county government since 1993. I was around when cities and counties fought about this way back then. Urban renewal has grown into this creature, in my opinion, that is a killer to county government. And I want to tell you why. And I'm going to use Medford as an example, but there are multiple cities that have urban renewals here. When Medford decides they're going to create an urban renewal district, if you go back to 22 numbers, that's the last recent urban renewal district, they struggle, they take the consequence of losing about 39% of the tax increment from where the taxes, well, first of all, who's ever heard of urban renewal in here? Does everybody know how this works a little bit? Okay. So the tax base gets frozen, and then everything that gets collected after that goes to the urban renewal district. So when Medford does that, they're facing a 39% reduction in their revenue. You would think that's consequential. The school districts face about a 30% reduction. The county faces about a 15% reduction. The rest comes from other countywide districts, the library, the vector control, 4-H Master Gardener Service District, Rogue Valley Transportation District. All of those people lose that tax to that urban renewal agency. What cities do, first of all, they charge overhead against the urban renewal agency to run it. And in our county, I've seen as low as 8%, Central Point, good job Central Point, up to over 20%. I won't say their name, but it starts with a T. That's the first step. The county doesn't get to charge an administrative overhead cost, so we don't get to recover that. Then what happens, thanks to Jacksonville going back many decades, is they turn around and charge surcharges. So your public safety fee, your wildfire fee, pick whatever fee. You all know what they are. If you live out in Jacksonville, you're paying $1,200 a year in those extra fees. If you live in Medford, you're paying $443 a year in those extra fees. The county doesn't get to charge those. So the city is able to stabilize themselves. What's amazing to me is that the state supports this with all the money that gets drawn away from school districts. They struggle to meet the state school district budget every year, while urban renewals across the state are taking hundreds of millions of dollars and spending it on things. Now, urban renewal is good for a lot of reasons, don't get me wrong. But there are some reasons that I'm going to cover today that show me that this thing has had mission creep way too far. Now you have consultants that all they do is focus on showing cities how to pull money out of urban renewal to do things, when really it was meant for major infrastructure projects to deal with blight and places where there was an exorbitant amount of taxes going to deal with issues of public safety or public health. The idea is at the end of the urban renewal, then the taxes go up and everyone benefits. I can tell you that if you look at what's happened, cities create an urban renewal district, and it depends on your population, whether it can be 15 or 25% of the area within the district and the assessed value. And it can be up to 50 million if the assessed value is worth 50 million. If it's from 50 to 150, it can be 50 million plus 50%. If it's over 150, it can be 100 million plus 35%. That's the amount of money they can say they're going to spend over the life of the urban renewal. The urban renewal can go as long as it takes to reach that amount of money. So it can be 20 years, it can be 30 years, and then you can do a 20% amendment at the end to add 20% more money and keep the urban renewal going. At the county, where we're struggling to even keep the jail open, pulling money for 20 or 30 years till we're going to get a return. And by the way, once we get the return, it takes us another 15 years to get back to where we were when we started. To me, is ridiculous. And counties don't have a way to recover from this. We are just stuck. It's like a pickpocket almost. We don't get any decision in where the money's spent. And then if they're going to do a public facility, they have to get more than 51% of the affected taxing districts. This also is crazy to me because, for example, in Medford, where I said they're 39% of the loss of the base, the school district is 30. So those two get to decide if a public facility is getting built. Well, guess what? School districts don't lose any money because they're equalized by the state. Why would they care? This is where I want to bring your attention to. Property tax per capita plus the annual utility fees. So if you look on down there, you see at the end the county's at $250 per capita with no tax. When you look at this, these are all the cities with urban renewal. Now, Listen, one city with urban renewal is not going to kill the county, but all these cities consolidated together if you look over the last 10 years, it's at least 10 million with a snapshot. Each year, that amount the county loses goes up and up, and it's the same for all the other districts. In the school districts, they're getting equalized by the state, going along, everything's fine. Over here, we're literally fighting to keep the jail. In fact, in this budget, we're closing the basement of the jail. We just don't have the operating revenue to do it. It's that desperate for the county now, and it's that desperate for counties all across our state.